Welcome to Square One Games. My name is Exonovan and this is my road to completion guide for Dark Souls Remastered. In this series, I will show you how to unlock every trophy this game has to offer, and I really hope you enjoy the run. A few quick announcements before we get started. Number 1, check the description and my pinned comment for a full video timeline in case you need to skip around to a specific part of the guide. Number 2, if I have to make a correction, I will leave a note in my pinned comment or insert a new video into the series. Videos that contain corrections will always be labeled with decimal numbers. Number 3, I monitor my comments 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so if you have any questions about this guide or any other guides on the channel, let me know immediately. I will respond to you as quickly as possible. Number 4, backup saves will be used to maximize efficiency, and I'll demonstrate this process on the PS4. You need to have a good understanding of how to create a backup save before attempting to follow this guide. With that said, you can still get the platinum without creating backup saves, but be prepared to spend more time farming for souls and covenant items. Check the description for more information to learn how to create backup saves on other consoles. Number 5, we will access the DLC even though it's not required to get the platinum. For those of you playing the original Dark Souls, make sure to download the DLC before following this guide. There are several key items we can pick up in the DLC that will help us upgrade weapons and make our character stronger. For those of you that choose not to play the DLC, you can still get the platinum. I will explain how this is possible later. Number 6, there is a duplication glitch that allows you to max out your character's stats within the first few hours of the game. I will showcase this glitch as an option for players who wish to use it. Number 7, the background music has been removed to avoid copyright. And last but not least, my patrons. Your continued financial support allows me to make quality road to completion guides for trophy and achievement hunters from all around the world. I could not do this without all of you, so thank you. That's all the announcements. Enjoy the guide. To unlock the platinum trophy, we need to collect 11 variants of Titanite, 18 pieces of equipment, 24 sorceries, 23 miracles, 19 pyromancies, 47 unique weapons, 16 boss souls, 4 covenant items, and 6 embers. On top of that, we have to play through the campaign roughly 2.5 times. So let's get started. Some areas are extremely dark, so I encourage you to increase your brightness for better visibility. Turn off camera auto wall recovery and adjust the UI scale to 0.90. If you're a beginner, turning off the music will help keep the atmosphere calm during boss fights, which might help you concentrate. You can always adjust these settings later using the in-game menu. Map the buttons however you'd like. Just know that I will provide commentary based on the default layout. Choose a name for your character and select Sorcerer as our starting class, and the Master Key is our gift. I chose the name Face Your Fears because members of my Crazy88 over on Patreon submitted possible character names, and Face Your Fears ended up winning the contest. The member who suggested this name was actually Face Your Fears. Thanks to all my Crazy88 for participating in the contest. All other character options are up to you and will not affect the guide. When the game begins, press the D-pad in all directions to become familiar with how to switch between weapons, spells, shields, and consumables. Press right for weapons, up for spells, left for shields, and down for consumables. Obviously, some slots are blank because we still need to make some adjustments to our inventory. Now press X to pick up the dungeon cell key so we can exit our cell. The green bar in the top left corner represents your endurance or stamina. As long as you have the correct amount of stamina, you can block, run, jump, and attack. Each one of these actions require a set amount of stamina, which you'll become more familiar with as you play. Hold the O button to sprint, press R1 for a light attack, R2 for a heavy attack, and tap the O button to roll. I'll explain how to jump later in the guide. Anytime your stamina reaches 0, you'll have to wait until it recharges in order to perform one of these actions. Managing your stamina is one of the most important aspects of this game, so do your best to never let it hit zero. You can slide down ladders quickly by pressing O. Press X to light the bonfire, which will also unlock the Enkindle trophy. Resting at a bonfire gives us access to special menu options, resets all enemies in the world, and restores our Estus Flask, which we'll talk more about later. Anytime we die, we go back to the previous bonfire we rested at. Skip the boss by running through the gate on the left. Once we find a shield and a better weapon, we'll come back and defeat the Asylum demon. Watch out for the archer and grab the small leather shield from the corpse on the left. Equip the shield by pressing the options button. Use L1 or R1 to scroll through the menu to the second option labeled Change Equipment. Place the small leather shield into one of the empty slots to the right of the shield icon. Press L1 to use the shield to block incoming arrows from the archer. Notice that each time you block an arrow, you lose a small percentage of your stamina. Some enemy attacks drastically reduce your stamina, even when you're blocking, leaving you vulnerable to follow-up attacks. Also notice that each hit slightly pushes you back. Keep this in mind when standing on small platforms, because a slight nudge from the enemy could lead to instant death. While blocking, run toward the archer to force him into the next area. This will give you time to pick up and equip the dagger. After you equip the dagger, block the archer's attacks and counterattack with R1. Each time you kill an enemy, souls will be collected and stored in the lower right of the screen. Our goal is to collect 6,000 souls so we can buy additional spells in episode 2. Always be aware of traps placed in the environment because they typically deal a lot of damage. Walk off the steps to the right to avoid the boulder trap. Open the gate to reveal a shortcut back to the bonfire. Shortcuts allow us to move between areas efficiently, and we'll be taking advantage of this during our playthrough. The boulder knocked a hole in the wall, opening a path to a secret area. Secret areas usually contain NPCs, items, and bonfires. Kill the NPC to receive 5 Estus Flask and the Undead Asylum F2 East key. Picking up the Estus Flask will pop another trophy, and the key can be used to open the gate at the top of the stairs. Estus Flask are potions that restore health. Press the square button to use any consumable shown in the bottom D-pad slot. Grab the Sorcerer's Catalyst and equip it in the second weapon slot. The Sorcerer's Catalyst allows us to cast spells, which are located in the top D-pad slot. Currently we have 30 soul arrows, and they can be used to hit enemies at range. Creating backup saves or safety saves is a great way to continue playing through the campaign without fear of losing souls, humanity, and progress. To set up a safety save on the PS4, quit the game and click Settings. Scroll down and select Application Saved Data Management. When prompted, choose OK to quit the application. Now select the first option, Saved Data in System Storage. Now we get to choose where we want to copy the save file. You have two choices, online storage for PlayStation Plus members or USB storage device. I prefer to use a USB storage device, but either method works. Select the file for Dark Souls Remastered and copy it to the backup method of your choice. Just remember that USB 3.0 storage devices are faster than 2.0, so you'll want to use 3.0 if possible. Also keep in mind that USB 2.0 devices plug into the back of the PS4 and USB 3.0 plug into the front. If you're planning to copy files to online storage, make sure to check your auto upload options to ensure files aren't uploaded without your permission. Once again, check the description to find out how to create backup saves on your console. If the information below is inaccurate, let me know so I can correct the links. Now, let's test to make sure you've set up the safety save correctly. Go through the fog gate and die to the boss on purpose. Remember the number of souls you have in the bottom right corner, because once you load back in, the number should be the same. Follow the steps from before, except this time choose option 2 or 3, online storage or USB storage device. Now copy your previous save file back to your system. When you get the prompt to overwrite the current save data, select Yes. Remember, our current system save reflects us dying to the boss and losing our souls. By overwriting that file, we can return to a time in the game just before the fight when we had all of our souls. If you've done this correctly, you should be standing near the fog gate with the exact amount of souls you had before you died. If not, stop following the guide and review the links I've left in the description. If you're still having issues, leave a comment so I can help you. Please let me know which console you're using and what your backup method is, online storage or USB. Again, I'm only familiar with Sony consoles, but I'm happy to help you any way that I can. When you're ready to proceed with the guide, switch to your Sorcerer's Catalyst and walk through the fog so we can defeat the Asylum Demon. Tap O to roll off the platform and then hold O to sprint into the corner. Pressing R2 will destroy any pots that might be in your way. Position yourself exactly where I do and lock on to the boss with R3. You'll need to wait for him to get close enough before you can lock on. When the small white circle appears, spam R1 to fire soul arrows. The red bar just above your stamina is your health, and anytime it falls below 50%, you need to press square to heal. Keep this up until you defeat the Asylum Demon. Doing so nets us the Big Pilgrim's Key, which allows us to leave this area. 1 humanity and 2,000 souls. Before leaving the asylum, drop the humanity we just picked up into the nest on the right. After that, quit the game and select continue from the main menu.
Give me warm, give me soft. Give me warm, give me soft.
When you load in, you'll see that we've successfully traded with this NPC. Pick up the Ring of Sacrifice and follow me to the next area. When you reach Lordran, you'll unlock another trophy, plus we'll have access to the Firelink Shrine bonfire. When the prompt disappears, press the options button and configure your network's launch setting to offline. Quit and continue to launch the game in offline mode. Notice that I have 17 soul arrows and 1 Estus flask, but as soon as I rest at the bonfire, they are automatically replenished. You can see that we have more menu options available, and of course I'll explain each of these as we continue the guide. The Firelink Shrine bonfire has the ability to grant us 10 Estus flask each time we rest. Check the corpse for 3 humanity and make your way up the hill for combat training. If you already have a firm understanding of how combat works, then use the timeline to pick up the remaining souls and firebombs in the area. You're free to skip ahead to episode 2. Quitting the game is the most powerful tool you have in combat because it resets enemies to their initial spawn point. Take my gameplay for example. Let's say you're trying to target an enemy but you accidentally move too close and the enemy becomes aggressive. For whatever reason, you're not prepared to engage the enemy, so the best play is to quit. When you load back in, the enemy will be reset and you'll be able to kill him at range, which is what you set out to do in the first place. Safety saves also come into play during combat. You can literally set up a safety save after every kill, and you'll never stop making forward progress through the campaign. Do I suggest this? No. But is it possible? Yes. Another aspect of combat to consider is fighting multiple targets. If at all possible, try to engage one enemy at a time. You'll find that moving through areas slowly is the best way to create 1v1 situations. Also, never be afraid to move the fight to a different area to avoid being swarmed by other enemies. There are several strategies for killing enemies. Obviously, as a sorcerer, we want to try and kill most enemies at range, but sometimes this is not possible. So, you can bait enemies to attack you first and then counter with a spell or weapon. All you have to do is get just inside of their attack range and quickly move away. Be careful of enemies with projectiles, especially enemies outside of your field of view. Projectiles cause a significant amount of damage, and in some cases, cause status effects that can bleed HP at a steady rate. Once again, pull an enemy to a different area to avoid the projectiles. Circling an enemy is another useful strategy in combat. If the enemy has a low track speed, then you'll be able to move behind them for a quick spell cast or backstab. The last strategy is to counterattack, but with the heavy emphasis placed on stamina management. Holding your shield up after an attack causes your stamina to refill slowly. Enemies that have several follow-up attacks can instantly deplete all of your stamina, leaving you vulnerable. So, it's very important that you lower your shield between attacks to recharge your stamina quickly. Kill the remaining enemies on the hill and pick up the souls in the area. After that, pick up the 6 firebombs behind the Firelink Shrine bonfire. Rest at the bonfire to reset the enemies on the hill. Use this time to practice combat, safety saves, and get more familiar with the controls. Do not worry about how many souls you have going into episode 2, because any extra souls can be dumped into stats, which I'll explain then. I will assume that anyone watching episode 2 has a good understanding of everything we covered in this episode. I hope you're looking forward to the series. My name is Exonovant, and I'll see you in the next one. Be good. If you enjoy my videos and would like to support my work, you can do so at Patreon. Pledges start at $1 a month, and for those of you who support me already, I greatly appreciate it.